Hey y'all, this is Peyton from Carver, Commodore. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Song. This week we're going to be looking at one called Jeff Garlin. Alright y'all, like I said, my name is Peyton from Carver, Commodore. If somehow you made it to this video and you don't know who we are or what Carver, Commodore even is, congrats, it's pretty impressive. We're an indie rock alternative band from Alabama, and we do this thing called Behind the Songs, where we basically take a look behind the scenes of all of our songs, show you the process of how they're made from start to finish. This time around, we're looking at a song called Jeff Garlin, which was the most requested song on an Instagram poll that I did a few weeks ago, where I asked our people what song they would want to hear if we do more episodes of Behind the Songs. So I figured I'd start back with this one. So if you haven't seen those other episodes, we've got episodes on our songs Tell Me What You Want, Black Plastic, and Stars and Galaxies. So if you dig our music and you want to go see those, go check them out. They'll be in the description and at the links at the end of the video. And if you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe, because we're going to have a lot of new stuff coming out in 2023. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the lyrics of Jeff Garlin first. I wrote this song after listening to an interview with him on Mark Maron's podcast, WTF. Either in like 2018 or 19, I tried my hardest to find the episode, but I could not find it anywhere. There's an episode with him from 2015, but I don't think that's it. Anyway, I wrote this song because he was just talking about his divorce and everything he was going through on that episode, and he just seemed like such a sweet dude. So I just kind of wrote this from his perspective because it's a very common perspective for a lot of us, and things that a lot of us have been through in the past, like unrequited love and that kind of thing. So I just thought it was an interesting perspective from somebody that's not really expected to be like that kind of love story, you know? So as you can see, verse 1 and 2 and the pre-chorus are all like about his unrequited love, about his insecurities, about how it makes him feel. The last line of the pre-chorus kind of sums it up: take your time, I'm the patient kind. The chorus is crazy. It's just like all these different juxtapositions. So the whole song is kind of built around different juxtapositions, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. But back and forth, up and down, side to side, in and out, all that stuff. So comparing his love to his ex-wife love, that kind of thing. At some point in the interview, he talked about this, like needing, like at some point during his divorce, asking God for help or whatever. So I wrote that into verse 3, and he said that he feels like that happens all the time now at the time of the interview. And he was talking about just like waiting it out in the next chorus or next pre-chorus and hoping that their love comes back and hoping that their marriage comes back and all that kind of stuff. And so the whole song is that juxtaposition like I was talking about in the lyrics, and it kind of transfers over to the music as well. It's kind of a sad song when you think about it and when you look at the lyrics. And Jeff Garlin is not really known for being like a sad guy. He's a comedian, and he's mostly in comedic roles. Obviously, as you can see by the picture that I have down there. But yeah, the juxtaposition in the music. So the music for this song is pretty happy sounding, and it's kind of got this like 2013, 2014 vibe of like, I don't know, what's the band that does like the "It's gonna be the best day of my life." That band kind of got that kind of vibe, which I was scared of at first, and I was trying to like make sure we didn't get too far into that vibe, but it ended up being okay. And I'll show you here in just a minute when we dive into the demos and into the recordings of like how we tried to step away from that more. Back when we first recorded these songs in 2020, we recorded the songs, sent them off to our manager, and I was like, what do you think? I mean, we didn't know if we were going to record an album or what at this point. We just went into the studio and started recording. And literally the only song that he liked of those first 5 songs was Jeff Garlin. So I guess since the beginning it's been kind of a favorite. And I, at times, have felt like it was kind of cheesy and was kind of afraid to push it. But we ended up releasing it on our EP called Too Much back in May of 2022 this year at the time of recording. And people really liked it. And I don't know if they connected with it because of, like I said earlier, the kind of common experience of unrequited love, or if they have just liked how happy the song sounded, or what. But people have really connected with it. It's become a fan favorite, which is always cool. I was really scared to play it live for a long time because of how wordy and fast the chorus is. I knew it would take a lot of breath, but we ended up doing it. We started playing it in fall of 2022, I guess, and it's been good. It's been cool to have everybody sing along at shows, and yeah, it's been cool to get over my fear of singing it and trying to continue to grow the air in my lungs, I guess. So it's been good. Yeah, so now let's take a look at the process behind writing the song from the demo all the way to recording. Apparently, when I was writing this song, I really didn't write it much with like a voice memo or anything like that. I just wrote it on GarageBand at the time. And I went back to try to find the original demo, and I think it was on a flash drive of mine that got corrupted and deleted everything. So at some point I'd saved it as like a zip file with all of the different tracks exported. So I imported that into Logic, so that's what we're looking at. So without further ado, let's hear it.
Why can't you love as much as me? Why do we have to disagree? I'm too far in to turn back now.
So as you can see, it's kind of the same vibe as what we ended up doing in the studio, at least at the beginning. Same instrumentation and everything.
I love you like I did day one, and now you're saying that we're done. I've never felt so insecure.
So right here, some kind of cheesy stuff comes in, especially that, compared to like the rough mix and the yeah, back to the demo. You can hear that bell synth pretty loud. And then this one is like a little too 8-bit, so it kind of sticks out to your ear a little too much compared to the rough mix, which is mostly more guitar and that kind of stuff. And the final mix, where there's still some synth in there, it's just better synth sounds. Alright, so as you can see, the acoustics and vocal are like recorded with the internal mic on the computer, just like we did with Black Plastic. We got the gang vocals in there. Just me standing back in the room. And then rough mix. So at some point I came up with that slide part. I don't think that was in the original arrangement. I think they did an extra chorus or something, but I got rid of that at some point. Yeah, and then the outro is pretty much the same as it is on the rough mix and the final. A little 2013 gang vocal ending. Alright, so, oh yeah, and then on the ending I thought it was really cool apparently to do that. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, apparently I did all this in Logic. I didn't really write much using voice notes or anything like that. I must have been near my computer when I wrote it. So yeah, I used the computer mic. All of my synth sounds and demo stuff was super cheesy. It was all GarageBand stuff at the time. Same instrumentation and arrangement in that final demo. I think at the beginning it was mostly the same without the addition of the slide solo and stuff like that, like I said. On the rough mix, the big differences are, yeah, that addition of the slide solo and then some better synth sounds, but also some other cheesy synth sounds that we ended up not keeping in the final. You can hear those on like the choruses and the turns. Yeah. Then verse 2. You can hear that kind of smash mouthy organ sound. And we still kind of kept something similar, but I don't think it's as cheesy or thin sounding.
I need assistance from above.
Sounds like we either added another, re-recorded that organ part, or we added like a octave thing and distortion and all that to that smash mouthy organ. So yeah, it's a very similar final product, at least arrangement wise, to the demo. Big differences are that it's just less cheesy, hopefully. And in like the final version, we decided to just take the less is more approach and take a lot of things out that were just kind of unnecessary. We tried a bunch of ear candy kind of stuff that we thought was cool in the moment, and then we went back and listened to it and we're like, this is lame. So we took out a lot of that stuff, and what we ended up with was hopefully a little more like Franz Ferdinand than American authors or whatever. So the only voice note I was able to find for this song was this recording from when we got together right as COVID was about to hit. We got together because we all live a couple hours apart and ran through some songs for what was going to be our first time at South by and a little tour run that we had coming up. And then we ran through some new stuff over a weekend. So this is a recording of us kind of doing a chorus makeover, adding some different parts that you hear in the demo because I had updated it before I sent it out as like a zip file or whatever. But this is kind of the origin of those parts. Slower too, obviously. Yeah, that part. I don't think that was in the song before we got together and worked on this. And then for some reason I want to say that we had like a very different feel in the choruses on the drums and all that stuff. I cannot remember how it went. I don't know what it was, but it was a different feel on the drums. Anyway, that's where we kind of ended up changing the choruses before we went into the studio and tried to make it less cheesy. Basically, from the beginning, I wrote this cheesy song with a lot of very on-the-nose lyrics, very on-the-nose musical juxtaposition to the lyrics, and then we, from there, just tried to strip that stuff away and make it less cheesy and make it a little more 2000s indie rock alternative, which is kind of our sound sometimes. So hopefully we ended up with that in the long run, and hopefully you dig where we ended up. Let me know if you think we should have kept some of this stuff in there that we ended up taking out. Yeah, so that's Jeff Garlin. That was one of the first songs that we recorded in the sessions for Welcome to the Modern World in March of 2020. Right when COVID hit, we went into the studio, recorded 17 songs over that whole year. And this was one of the first ones but it was one of the last ones to be released from those sessions because we initially thought we were going to put them all out like as a 17-song record, and we decided that would be really stupid, and I'm glad we did because these songs, Jeff Garlin, They Don't Know, Good Idea, Devil May Care, and Something Okay, that we ended up releasing on the Too Much EP just really didn't fit in like conceptually with all the rest of the songs on the album. So yeah, it felt weird waiting so long to put it out and then putting out a song that I wrote in 2018 that we recorded in 2020 and putting that song out in 2022. It felt weird. It's a 4-year long process, you know. So that was weird, but people like it and they seem to enjoy the song. So one of the coolest things that happened after we released the song was that we posted on Instagram. You know, we were doing the whole release thing of posting on socials constantly and all that stuff, and we were tagging Jeff Garlin in every post about the song and every post about the EP that included the song. And finally, he like commented back like months later and just said, "I dig." So that was one of the coolest things, just to know that he at least saw that post and maybe heard the song, maybe connected with it, maybe felt heard for a minute. So still hoping to hear more from him if we could. So if you know Jeff Garlin, send the song his way, send this video his way, and maybe we can play guitar together or talk Daddy Daycare together or talk Curb Your Enthusiasm together. All right, y'all, thanks for joining in. If there's another song that you'd like to hear, we're going to keep doing these. We're going to keep doing Behind the Songs. So if there's another song you'd like to hear, put it in the comments section down there below. Like, share, and subscribe so we can do more of these. One of our biggest goals, biggest plans in 2023 is to grow this channel and be more consistent and put out better stuff on this channel. So come along for the ride. See you next time. Thanks for coming.